Stop being the nice guy. Stop living for approval. Stop bending your back just to make others comfortable while you're dying inside. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The fake smiles, the endless apologies, the constant need to please people who don't even respect you. And deep down, it eats you alive, because every time you choose to be the nice guy, you're telling the world, my value doesn't matter. I exist to serve, not to lead. The truth is, the world doesn't reward nice. The world rewards strength. It rewards courage. It rewards the man who draws boundaries and dares to stand tall when everyone else bows their head. You're not meant to be the doormat for other people's comfort. You're meant to be the fire that lights the path forward. And here's the reality: being nice is just weakness dressed in kindness. Real kindness comes from power, not submission. So if you want to stop being ignored, stop being overlooked, stop living in the shadows, you must first stop being the nice guy. Respect is earned by strength, not by pleasing everyone. When you live your life trying to gain approval from everyone you meet, you place yourself at the bottom of the ladder without even realizing it. People can sense when you are desperate for validation, and instead of admiring you, they begin to see you as weak. Pleasing everyone is impossible because every person has different desires, different opinions, and different agendas. If you shape yourself into what others want, you lose who you truly are. Strength, on the other hand, demands attention. When you stand tall, speak with conviction, and refuse to bow down to every demand, people are forced to notice. They may not always agree with you, but they will respect the courage it takes to remain firm. True respect comes not from blending into the crowd, but from daring to stand apart from it. Strength isn't always about physical dominance or the ability to intimidate others. Real strength is the unshakable belief in yourself, the discipline to follow through on your word, and the resilience to withstand criticism without crumbling. Weak men collapse when judged, but strong men turn judgment into fuel. You cannot please everyone and still remain authentic, because authenticity often clashes with the expectations of others. People respect those who remain consistent, who refuse to betray their values just to gain temporary acceptance. When you display strength, people know you cannot be manipulated or bent out of shape. They realize that your respect must be earned, and in return, they grant you theirs. Pleasing everyone will never buy respect. It will only buy silence and pity, while strength commands loyalty and admiration. When you choose the path of pleasing others, you live in chains, constantly adjusting yourself like a puppet to avoid confrontation. But confrontation is not your enemy, weakness is. Strength creates a shield that makes people recognize your worth without you begging for it. Think about leaders, warriors, or men of impact. None of them were respected because they pleased everyone. They were respected because they drew a line in the sand and stood by it, even when it made others uncomfortable. Pleasing everyone makes you forget your own priorities, your own goals, and your own voice. The man who pleases everyone is forgotten, while the man who embodies strength becomes unforgettable. Respect is a currency, and strength is the only way to earn it authentically. Strength also means the courage to say no without hesitation. A man who cannot say no is a man who will always be taken advantage of. Pleasing people makes you easy prey for manipulation, because people see you as someone who will bend, someone who will give in, someone who will never fight back. Respect is born the moment you choose principles over comfort, truth over lies, and character over convenience. People admire strength because it represents stability in a chaotic world. No one feels safe following a man who bows to every demand, but they will trust and respect a man who stands firm. Respect requires backbone, and backbone is built from strength, not weakness disguised as kindness. Strength doesn't mean being cruel or heartless. It means being clear about who you are, what you stand for, and what you refuse to tolerate. Pleasing everyone forces you to dilute yourself until nothing of substance is left, and in that emptiness, respect cannot survive. People don't admire someone who constantly sacrifices their own needs just to gain approval. They admire someone who refuses to betray themselves. When you act from strength, people may dislike you, they may criticize you, but they will know you are solid. Respect is never about being liked, It's about being recognized as someone who cannot be swayed by fear, pressure, or the opinions of others. Pleasing everyone makes you fragile, but strength makes you unbreakable. Boundaries create power, weakness destroys it. A man without boundaries is like a city without walls, open to attack from every side, constantly invaded, and never truly in control. When you let others step over your lines, dictate your choices, and consume your time, you hand them your power on a silver platter. Boundaries are not about being rude or selfish, they are about self-respect. They say to the world, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and this is what I will not allow. Weakness, on the other hand, sends the opposite message. It tells people they can exploit you, disrespect you, and still expect you to smile through it. Boundaries demand strength because they require you to risk conflict, but that conflict is the birthplace of power. Without boundaries, you are not living your own life. You are living as a servant to everyone else's desires. Boundaries are the invisible armor that protect your energy, your goals, and your identity. Imagine trying to achieve greatness while constantly saying yes to things that don't serve you. Every yes to someone else's demand becomes a no to your own purpose. Weakness is agreeing to things you don't believe in just to avoid upsetting others. Power is looking someone in the eye and calmly saying no when it doesn't align with who you are. Weak men fear rejection, but strong men understand that rejection is a filter. It removes those who never respected you in the first place. Boundaries may cost you fake friends and shallow relationships, but they buy you self-respect, dignity, and control. Weakness destroys all of these, leaving you drained, bitter, and invisible. Boundaries also set the tone for how others treat you. If you allow people to cross your lines without consequences, they will continue to do so because you've taught them that your limits are negotiable. Weakness feeds this cycle as people learn you are someone who can be walked over without resistance. But when you enforce boundaries, people immediately adjust the way they approach you. They know they must come correct because you won't tolerate disrespect or exploitation. This creates power not just in how others treat you, but in how you carry yourself. You move differently when you know you cannot be bent. You speak differently when you know you won't betray your own values. Weakness teaches others to ignore you, but boundaries teach them to respect you. Boundaries are also about time, energy, and focus. Every moment you give to meaningless distractions or people who don't deserve it is energy stolen from your mission. Weakness is allowing your time to be dictated by anyone who asks for it, never questioning whether it benefits your growth. Power is choosing where your energy flows and refusing to waste it on things that don't move you forward. Boundaries give you clarity because they strip away what doesn't serve your purpose. Weakness clouds your vision with obligations that leave you resentful and unfulfilled. A man without boundaries spends his life exhausted, never understanding why his goals remain out of reach. A man with boundaries guards his energy like treasure because he knows his focus is the foundation of his power. Boundaries also build confidence. The more you enforce them, the more you trust yourself. Every time you stand firm, you send a message to your own mind, I am worth defending. Weakness does the opposite. It teaches you to betray yourself over and over until you no longer believe in your own worth. Confidence cannot grow in the soil of weakness. It only grows when you protect your identity with firm lines. Boundaries force you to become intentional about your life, your relationships, and your values. They strip away the noise of other people's demands and allow you to hear your own voice clearly. Weakness destroys that voice, burying it under layers of guilt, fear, and compliance. Boundaries create power because they declare to the world and to yourself that you will not live on your knees. You will stand tall, even if it means standing alone. Life does not reward the man who bends, apologizes, and sacrifices himself just to please the world. Life rewards the man who sets boundaries, stands with strength, and refuses to betray himself for temporary approval. Respect is never handed out freely. It is earned through power, conviction, and the courage to live by principles even when it is uncomfortable. Pleasing everyone is weakness, and weakness is the root of every lost opportunity, every broken dream, and every regret. Boundaries are not walls that isolate you. They are shields that protect your time, your energy, and your destiny. Without them, people consume you until nothing remains. With them, you rise above the noise and command the respect you deserve. Stop being the nice guy. Stop being the doormat. Stop bowing to a world that only values those who stand tall. Choose strength, choose power, and choose self-respect above all else. Thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay disciplined, and never forget your worth. God bless you.